lesson I just learned from my 5-year-old. First he wasn't listening, so I grabbed him by his head because that was the closest thing to me, and I just palmed his head, right? And I was like, look, you're going to listen. This kiddie stuff got to stop. We're not playing these games no more. And, he goes off and he comes back and he was like, you messed up my line. I was like, okay. And then he said, you messed up my line my daddy gave me. Yo! No! Alfie, the door is open. What the f? Anyway, the moment he said, not what was important for me. See, women are fillers, right? Yeah, I've been cleaning all day. My nails are dirty. I actually have a reason for my nails to be dirty this time. But we, as women, we're fillers first. We're logic brain. We're training our logic brain. But we know we're training our logic brain and we're not naturally logic brain. That's men, because we're raising these sons with absent of men. And so we raise these sons, we raise them to be fillers, because we're naturally fillers. We're not logic. But we're raising sons who are naturally logic. And so now we got this emotional logic. And that's what our men are. Emotionally driven logic. And we know that because we are just now, as Black women, developing our logic. And I know that we are because I am. And I am. So if I'm just now developing and I'm one of the people out here who is telling you how to do it, not what to do, how to do it. And since I'm one of those people and I'm just now moving into my logic, and I'm pulling back on my feeling. Now I can recognize that I must control the amount of feeling and the amount of logic that I transfer to my son, because he's automatically going to be like, who is it? When not the dude with the eyes, on X-Men first got his sight and he was like, shh, he had to learn how to control it. Our sons are logic, like this sound is going off in my head when I think about their logic. And if we don't even know how to tap into it to say, okay, this is why we do what we do, then they ain't gonna know how to use it, but they're gonna be really emotional. I forgot the lesson that I learned from my son. He said, not only did I mess up his line, which didn't mean nothing to me, like, okay, I messed up your line. He told me why I was important to him, and the reason why I was important to him is because his dad did it. And I was like, okay. And in that moment, my heart melted, because I was like, man, you really love your dad. And he's like, yeah. And I gave him a hug. And I thought about what it would be like for him to grow up in a home absent of his father. And thank you. I will say, if your mom's recording a video and you got a poop or burp, you can excuse yourself, okay? You can go to another room. But if it's just us chilling in a room and there's no camera, I don't care if you do that. So in that respect, it's time and place. If the camera's rolling, make as little noise as possible, even your body. But if there's no cameras, you could be all the Kaden you want to be. All right, you get it? Yeah. All right, so that's why you have to explain everything to.
Do you hear that?
I hear it, son.
Okay.
That's why you got to explain everything to your children, because that's how you develop a female's logical brain, and that's how you hone in a male logical brain, because you have to explain the logic behind everything you do. That's why kids ask why, and that's why we say stop asking why, because we never developed our logical brain. Past video. But when he said that his dad did that softened my heart, because it proved to me what my husband has been saying this whole time, that he is relating to his children. He is connecting to his children. Just because I don't see it, that doesn't mean that he's not doing it. Just because he doesn't do it my way doesn't mean that it's not happening. In that moment, I saw it. I am so blessed by these children, and you are so blessed by your children. All of our children are uniquely crafted for us. Any child that you are blessed to be in the vicinity of. Spirit said everyone's not going to give birth to a child from their womb, but you will be blessed in your lifetime to have an opportunity to be in soul connection with the child. And I tell you, I met a child one first Friday, the last December in 2023. I met a little boy, Shiloh, I believe his name was. And I watched him be in conflict with these two little boys because he didn't know how to play with them. And by the time I got finished with him, he was playing with 6 kids. In the span of me seeing him having conflict with these two little boys, it's a live out there. It's a bad live because I didn't have no data, man. Miracles were worked that night. That's probably why that video glitched out, because I was drawing in a bunch of freaking energy that night. But, yeah, I watched this little boy be in conflict with these other 2 little boys because he's used to playing competitive sports. So he competes. And I was just like, well, no, that's not how you play out here in the streets. In the streets, you play so the other person can get the ball so they can kick it back to you. But if you're playing keep away, which is competitive sports, so it was just helping him. This is the cliff notes. It was just helping him transition from competitive sports mode to friendly mode. And then I told the other young boy, you know, that's when I was like, I'm speaking to your future self, so you don't even have to remember this conversation. But I told him the cooperation that you're learning how to play these sports, because he just plays for fun. So the cooperation that you're learning from playing these sports is going to help you greatly in your spousal relationships. So that's another reason why, if any, but not professional sports, but organized sports, is to teach our men how to not cooperate. And that's why it's largely geared towards black men. You think you're cooperating, but you're not. You're not. You know you're not cooperating because there's a winner. Somebody has to win, which means someone has to lose. But if you were in true cooperation, everybody wins. That's not everybody gets a trophy, everybody wins. When Caden was racing with Michael on his bike, every time he raced him, he got closer and closer and closer and closer to beating him. But he would feel like he lost if only one winner could be there, or he could relish in the fact that, you know what, I beat my last personal best. Therefore, I won too. There's a winning aspect if you truly are developing a winner's mindset in all of us. But that's not the plan. The plan is for us to feel like we're always losing. And that is how you can not live in gratitude, because you don't see how everybody wins. You just see how there's only one winner on a planet that has billions of people on it. Maybe trillions, I don't know. It's irrelevant. But what I'm saying is, there can only be one winner. All these people out here, that don't even make sense. Exactly. Oh yeah, so this young man brought to my knowing that it's imperative that my children grow up in a household that has both of their parents. And I don't know how that's gonna happen. But no matter how little I think Dad does, or how much I think I do, or vice versa, please choose better. Choose better.
I don't have yell at me.
I didn't yell, but I'm happy you think that was a yell. It doesn't matter. What either of us think is what they think. And he's going to reach into their soul the way that he knows how to reach into their soul, and I'm going to reach into their soul the way that I know how to reach into their soul. So I won't discount his impact, but I will help him refine his delivery. I'm sorry. You're not gonna tear my kid down to build him up just because you're unaware that you're tearing him down.